Anthony Elmore has done a lot of talking over the last 3 or 4 years about Brad Hefton and what he would do to him if he ever got him in the ring. He's got his chance tonight.
You know, Brad, there are not many people who like the style of all the talk of Anthony Elmore. I think he's rather intelligent in that the one thing that can hurt a fighter is if he fights with emotion rather than with his head. If Anthony Elmore's talk has gotten Brad emotionally involved, it could work to Elmore's advantage, and that's what he's trying. We'll have to see if Brad's corner can keep him calm and not fight with all that emotion.
Pat Johnson, Johnny Ontario, Joe Corley, and yours truly, Brad Nessler, with you at the Omni in Atlanta. This is the Super Heavyweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 15, and we're underway in round 1.
After all the talk, both fighters obviously respect each other, as two heavyweights will normally do, searching for an opening, feeling each other out.
Elmore on your left, Hefton on your right.
At this point, Hefton is the aggressor. He's coming forward. Elmore is content to move around, look for the opening, see what Hefton has. For all the talk, he respects Brad Hefton a great deal.
Good side kick, sent Elmore back into the ropes. No damage done, but got pretty good power behind it.
Actually, those kicks on the arms like that, even though they don't have effect early, later in the fight, a series of those kicks make the arms heavy. So a fighter can hold his arms up and later could lead to a knockout.
Elmore claims he has excessively good power in his kicks and that his front leg kicks really blast his opponents and unnerve them more than it looks like on camera. I noticed Brad Hefton is hesitating Jean-Yves a little bit before he makes his initial move.
Anthony is holder of a number of records as far as kicking is concerned. I didn't see him kick that much this round, so I'm wondering if he's playing possum, if he's trying to get Brad upset a little bit. He told me earlier on today that the mentally stronger fighter would win.
Hefton just seems a little tense, a little hesitant about making his move forward.
And the first round jitter is just about behind Anthony Elmore and Brad Hefton.
Okay.
Brad Hefton takes all his allotted time on the stool in his corner. Elmore was in mid-ring waiting for him. We're in round 2.
Well, the sight game continues, Brad, because Elmore stood up between the rounds, never sat down at all, trying to play with Hefton's mind. We'll see if it has any effect.
Hefton has Elmore cornered. Good flurry in Brad Hefton's corner.
This is not the Anthony Elmore we're used to seeing. I have to think that he's still hanging back, playing possum, trying to see what Hefton has. He's staying calm and cool, not getting excited.
At the same time, Bad Brad is gaining confidence. You see him, he's faking punches and kicks, and he's coming forward.
Yes, he's changed, Jean-Yves, from the first round. He's definitely more aggressive.
Hefton, the former heavyweight champion, defended that crown 5 times and then lost it a year ago, almost to the day, a year ago, to Jerry Rome. Jerry Rome has lost that title subsequently tonight.
Let's go.
And now Hefton up a weight class to the super heavies. Over 12,300 on hand here at the Omni. Great crowd for Karate Mania 2, and it has been some kind of day. Tremendous event that Jim Abernathy put together again this year. Elmore got a little tangled up and then flurried off the ropes on Hefton.
Yeah, Hefton was off balance then. Elmore tried to take advantage of it, just couldn't do it fast enough.
Good body shot by Hefton. And we come to the close of round 2, scheduled for 15. Scheduled for 15, super heavyweight title. Brad Hefton and Anthony Amp Elmore.
That was a little low, Anthony. Bring it up. It was a little low. No problem.
May have heard Truman Irving, the referee, say that was a little low on the kick, Anthony. Bring it up.
It appears to me, Brad, that Hefton is still waiting. He thinks that Elmore is trying to sucker him into something after all the talk. And he's just very cautious and waiting for Elmore to open up and do some of the things that he has said that he would do. So far, Elmore has been content just to lay back and let Hefton take the lead. There he's turning his head even as Hefton comes forward.
Still early, only round 3, but Pat, how do you have it scored?
I've got Hefton ahead by 1 point after 2 rounds. He's been the aggressor. He's taken the initiative. He's thrown and landed more blunt punches. That was a double round kick, the second one hitting to the head.
Elmore said in the press conference he was going to show pizzazz. He said he was going to blow kisses at the Playboy Playmates after he dazzled Hefton with his jabs. Haven't seen it yet.
Nope. Elmore does not seem to be in the shape that he's been in his previous fights. It could be that he's trying to pace himself. If that is the case, Brad, if he is in superior condition, should take advantage and build up points at this point, rather than laying back and waiting for Elmore to open up.
Jean-Yves, if you notice the left rear deltoid there of Elmore, the size of that thing.
I noticed that a little earlier, yes.
Good punch by Elmore at the end of round 3. Brad Hefton again gets every second he can between rounds, and here we go in round 4. And I think Anthony Elmore told his cornerman, Pat and Jean-Yves and Joe, he walked around the ring in between rounds again, and I think he said, "I'm cold." I don't think he feels he was properly warmed up before this one got underway.
That's right. When he stepped into the ring, he was dry. He wasn't sweating at all. So I don't know if he warmed up properly in his dressing room.
He sure isn't warming up here, Jean-Yves.
Certainly is. I think that he's thinking about 15 rounds as well. He's pacing himself. He gave a couple of rounds away at the beginning.
Yes,
that might hurt him at the end.
Those can add up without you realizing it.
Hefton has just been drilling powerful body shots in right around the heart of Elmore. Those things have got to take their pace on somebody his size later on. These are not like a boxer throws. These are more like reverse punch karate shots into the heart.
A lot of hip.
Anthony seems to be carrying a little bit extra weight around his waist, and Brad is going directly for that area with the kicks and the punches. So he's obviously got a game plan here.
Good overhand right by Hefton.
Early on, I was thinking that perhaps Hefton would fight with emotion, and that was what Elmore was hoping for. But Hefton is fighting a very smart fight, very good strategy, doing what he has to do to stay in control.
Elmore seems to be throwing front leg round kicks at Hefton's front arm. That seems to be his target.
Johnny, I've seen Hefton fight before. He generally throws more combinations than he's throwing tonight, particularly hands and feet. Why do you think he's changed?
I think they're still filling each other out. He's not quite confident. He's not sure if Anthony Elmore is playing possum or what, and he's not quite opening up right now.
I see.
Don't palm him, Anthony. Don't palm him. Okay. Cool out.
Brad Nessler with Pat Johnson, Jean-Yves Theriault, and Joe Corley with you at the Omni in Atlanta. Anthony Elmore didn't sit down between rounds again, and he kind of cruised over to this side of the ring and looked at us, Pat, and says, I got him. I guess I haven't seen that yet, but
I haven't either, but it might be true that he doesn't feel he's warmed up, and he's even using the time between rounds to warm up, though it's very unusual for me. I've never seen a fighter do that before. He must know something that we don't.
Elmore
Nice
told me the
combination
other day. Elmore told me the other day he doesn't do a lot of sparring. He does a lot of strategizing, thinking about sparring. Jean-Yves, does that help as much as ring work?
Well, I think you obviously have to do some sparring to get your timing in and everything else. Visualizing what you're going to do is fine, but you have to do it.
3 kicks, bud. 3 kicks, Hefton.
Hefton is pacing himself beautifully, Brad. He's really pacing himself well, though I'm surprised he's not using his hands and feet combinations together. He either kicks and then is ready to block Elmore's counter, or he throws a punch and backs off.
really picking his shots at this particular stage in the fight here in round 5.
It's paying off for him, though. He's a little bit quicker than Elmore and able in the center of the ring to avoid any of Elmore's attacks.
Just a little bit lighter than Anthony. 219 for Hefton, Elmore at 222.
Brad Hefton has been working on Nautilus equipment ever since he fought Jerry Rome last year here in the Omni. He came in here at 192 last year. His face looked like you had drained all the blood out of it when he came in.
Nice front kick by Hefton.
Coming off the rope, using the spring of the rope along with his own body power. Kind of a low kick there that time by Elmore.
Crowd reacts to that, spinning back
There's a
fist.
combination. Beautiful right hand.
It was the overhand right. Elmore was down, he's back, but the overhand right, that was a knockdown.
7.
Spinning back fist.
Followed by the
backed
kick.
up, and then the kick and the overhand right did it.
Excellent.
Brad is not getting excited. He's doing exactly what he should be doing.
Here we
Here
come,
it
guys.
comes. The back fist, followed by the round kick, and now comes the right hand from Hefton.
Warm it up.
These were the combinations you were talking about earlier, Pat.
That's right. I was surprised he didn't use them earlier. Now here it comes again. Now watch Elmore turn his head away rather than lift his arm to block. He turned away from it, trying to counter punch. He's not quick enough to do that.
He'd love to have not seen those ropes behind him, too, because there's so much spring, he just couldn't avoid coming back out, and he kind of walked right
He was
into
coming
that
back straight at Brad.
So a knockdown in round 5. Scored by Brad Hefton, who comes right back. 3 straight kicks in a row here in the early stages of round 6.
It looks as if Elmore has now decided he'd better become aggressive, and he is starting to move forward, trying to cut off the ring from Hefton. He's not letting Hefton take the initiative. We'll have to see what kind of counterpuncher Hefton is now. We know about his offense.
We saw Hefton nail Big John Jackson, 261 pounds, March 13th back in Rockford. Jackson came in. Hefton hit him with a beautiful right hand, left round kick, right hand, left round kick combination. 2 right hands, 2 round kicks to stop that fight.
That Nautilus training has obviously paid off for Hefton. He's got tremendous power. Able to stop a man as big as Elmore.
He's put on 27 pounds since last year. He says he's still carrying a little more around the middle than he would like to, but he feels strong at this weight, does not have to starve himself.
Another nice spinning back kick with a lot of power. Elmore took it on the arm, but that's going to tell in later rounds. There's a nice double round kick again to the head.
Brad is constantly going to the body with those straight right crosses and rear round kicks, and Anthony Elmore is getting red around the waist.
Yes, he is, John.
Tell you one thing that I am seeing is Hefton is really respecting the back leg round kicks of Elmore. He's dropping his left elbow down, making sure he takes that on the arm, and he's not trying to step inside that kick and nail Elmore with a right hand like he might.
Elmore should have done the same defensively with Hefton's round kicks, and he wouldn't have welts on the side of his body.
That's true. You know, Elmore still turning away from Hefton, leaving himself open to Hefton's right hand.
Elmore has at least become more active, but Hefton looks to be in control. We end the round. We'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
4. Waits in the middle of the ring. Hefton off the stool. And here we go. We're scheduled for 15, remember, for the Super Heavyweight Championship of the World. Elmore holds that title. The U.S. Super Heavyweight Champion is Brad Hefton. And he's had a good showing here through 6 rounds.
Hefton's becoming a little hesitant as he's making his first move, and when he did that, he ate the left jab of Elmore. He can't afford to hesitate if he's going to take that first move. He's got to commit to it.
Joe, I think that what we have here not only is a battle of 2 fighters, but a battle of 2 corners dictating strategy. And at this point, I would say that Hefton's corner is beating Elmore's corner.
Elmore hasn't made a pit stop in his yet in between rounds, has he?
Well, if I were in his corner, I'd say get on this stool, sit down, and get yourself together.
Good point. How do you have it scored, Pat?
I've got Hefton ahead comfortably by 4.5 points. That knockdown accounting for at least 2 of those points.
So Elmore's let the early round slip away, at least the way we see it. And that could cost him dearly as this fight goes along its course.
I've given every round so far to Brad Hefton. He's landing more, he's more aggressive, he's throwing more.
Don't hold him, Elmore. That's it. Keep punching. Good job.
Hefton covered up well on the ropes there.
Hefton just seems to be too quick for him. Just too quick. There he goes in and sticks. When Elmore tries to counter, Hefton's gone. He's not there. He's got Elmore punching air.
Bring it up. It's a little low.
And you notice that Elmore has his mouth open. He's breathing through his mouth instead of his nose. That's a sign that he's tired. Fatigue is setting in.
Been doing that about a round and a half.
Fight out there, both hands are free, both hands
And
are
we're very close to the midway portion of this fight. That's the end of round 7. Set to begin round 8 for the Super Heavyweight Championship of the World. Anthony Elmore on the short end of this one so far to bad Brad Hefton out of Rockford, Illinois.
Hefton is really in control of the fight, Brad. He has not let the sight game affect him in any way, shape, or form. He's sticking to the corner strategy, working it out to the letter. See how he's avoiding each one of those blows. He's just too quick. He's frustrating Elmore, making Elmore make mistakes. One of these times when Elmore lunges like that, Hefton's going to counter, and that could be all over with the force of both of them coming together.
Jean-Yves, you know, trying the sight game is one thing, but not being wise enough to just let it go away and get down to business is going to hurt Elmore, because he still tries to do it and it's not paying off.
He might have psyched himself out of the fight, really.
Elmore is starting to pick up his counter timing some. He's landed several good left counters and right counters thus far in the round.
Yes, and that last exchange. There he goes again.
Nice defensive front kick by Hefton coming off the ropes. Now he covers up as Elmore with a pretty good combination.
That was a nice combination. He put it together that time. If he can sustain that kind of attack.
Good overhand right by Hefton.
Oh, now. His knees are wobbling. He's going down. He's going down.
Truman Irving pulls him off.
No, that's two. That's two. You'd have been down. Let's go.
Elmore doesn't agree with the standing 8 he's getting from Truman Irving, but he was definitely stunned right in front of us on the ropes.
Hefton's got to follow up now. Hefton should not be on the ropes. He should be pressing it now. Elmore's hurt.
But he's making a stand for himself. He's fighting
He's
back.
got his knees buckled.
I'm going to take him.
That last right half.
Okay, that's it.
Elmore's hanging on.
First warning for holding. Let's go.
Elmore's hanging on.
Okay, in the round.
He survived the round. There it is. That head buckled him. And now Hefton is coming in. You can see Elmore hanging on. There's another right hand. Now he's ready to go. He lost his knees. The ropes kept him up.
Great left and 2 rights.
This was the same move as in the 5th round, where he went with the round kick to the body and the overhand right behind him when he dropped him in the 5th.
That was a beautiful left hand, and then 2 straight rights as Elmore was on his way to the canvas before Truman Irving intervened. Round 9. Let's see how much round 8 took out of Anthony Elmore, the PKC Super Heavyweight Champion of the world. The U.S. champion is putting it on him right now, and that's Brad Hefton.
They're in the middle of the ring, Brad. Neither one backing up at this point. Elmore knows he's in trouble. But Hefton's not going to back off. Hefton knows that he's quick enough to avoid Elmore's attacks. And his quickness has been the difference in this fight.
Your confidence, Johnny Terrio, has got to skyrocket when you have a round like Brad Hefton did last round.
Absolutely. You should be working a little harder to have two consecutive good rounds. They should be working a little harder, but Anthony's taking the fight to him.
Well, I think, Jean-Yves, that Hefton has a lot of respect. Elmore can put you away with one shot. Hefton does not want to run into that one shot.
You're right.
You know, I just remembered this when I spoke to John Monzak 10 days ago. He said, confidentially, I want you to know Brad's nose is broken.
There's another right hand, followed by a round kick.
Elmore stunned again on the rope.
Yes. Hefton let him up. Hefton let him off. You notice Elmore again turning his head away from the blows rather than looking and blocking, looking for an opening to counterpunch. He's just turning his head away. You can't counter if you're looking away.
That's what makes him hard to hit, too. His head goes in places you don't expect it to. He's really unorthodox defensively.
Tries to go to the body to Hefton on the ropes, but he should have done that 5 rounds ago.
He doesn't seem to have any convictions behind his punch and his kicks.
Very true.
I think the lack of sparring he was telling about earlier is affecting him right now.
Okay, in the round.
Round 10. Scheduled for 15. And Anthony Elmore's got a lot of ground to make up. We've seen 2 titles change hands already tonight, and a third one may be on the way if this one keeps going in the direction it is. And Pat, how do you have it scored through 9?
I gave every round so far to Hefton. I've got him ahead by 6.5 points. He's in complete control of the fight. Hefton has done everything that he should, and Elmore has done nothing that he should be doing.
And Johnny, Brad Hefton's not the kind of guy that's going to spend the next 5 rounds running away just to secure that lead.
Not at all. I like one thing about Brad tonight, that he's got a game plan. He's going back. He's always going back to the body. He's leading his attacks with a forward leg round kick, and he's going to the body, following it up.
Pretty good right hand by Elmore.
Yes, it was. He's got the power in either hand and either foot to put you away with one shot. Hefton's aware of that, and he is showing that he respects those techniques of Elmore.
Tremendous quickness by Hefton for a guy that weighs 219. Got that spin kick around in a hurry.
When you start looking for video footage of fighters who have landed the most effective shots with their kicks, Brad Hefton's always the man you go to, interestingly enough. And he makes the kicks look very easy to throw, as you say, at this weight. He jumps, spins, he really does flurry like a lightweight.
Good combination by Elmore. I don't know if it had any effect at all on Hefton. But
well, Jean-Yves mentioned a little while ago that Elmore was not going to the body of Hefton. There's the strength of Elmore. Just push Hefton halfway across the ring. But Hefton covers his head so well, and Elmore still tries to hit him in the head rather than going to the open body. So there you saw Hefton go low and then high.
round 11. Brad Nessler with Pat Johnson, Johnny Terrio, and Joe Corley. We welcome you to the Omni in Atlanta. We have had an exciting night of full contact professional karate, the points champions, the forms competitors from the Battle of Atlanta, the 18th annual event that took place all day long here. Literally thousands of competitors.
Johnny, the way the Montreal fight crowd is, they get behind you no matter where you're from. I think Brad Hefton would be their kind of fighter. You agree?
Absolutely. He's a spectacular fighter. He gives 100% of himself. I know for sure that Montreal would like this guy.
I'm amazed at his quickness this late in the fight, and he's just slipping everything that Elmore's throwing at him. He's not taking anything. Look at that, just making a miss and then coming back into the counter.
Elmore doesn't seem to be bothered by it now, but I guarantee he's going to have some sore left ribs tomorrow.
It appears now he's going to the body. Maybe he's trying to get Hefton's hands down. He's got those powerful kicks, especially that front leg round kick. And if Hefton keeps the hands low, thinking about that, Elmore can still put him away with that one shot over the top.
Pretty good right hand over the top by Elmore after a series of kicks. That right hand got through too, and you could see the disappointment in Hefton that he didn't get his guard up a little quicker.
To Elmore's credit, he's gotten up from the canvas twice. A lot of people don't think he would have done that. He's a very proud fighter.
Back out, no punches. Back out. Grab him there. That's your second one. Second warning. Let's go. No more.
Second warning for holding from Truman Irving, the referee.
Another nice body shot by Hefton. That right hand to the ribs.
Every time after the second warning, fighters have 1 point deducted for holding.
And Anthony definitely can't afford any points deducted at this stage, that's for sure.
No, he can't.
End of round 11.
Elmore has the reach. Hefton can still reach him with the leg.
Round 12, and Elmore comes across the ring to meet Hefton and wants to put a combination or two together, but Hefton's got ideas of his own.
This is more what I expected out of Elmore. Coming forward, combinations together.
In that fight with John Jackson in March, Brad Hefton started putting 5, 6, 7 punch combinations together, followed by round kicks to the head. He did it once in the early going against Elmore here, but this is only the second time this fight I've seen it come back.
He also said in that fight Joey didn't have the killer instinct because he liked Big John Jackson too much. I don't think he'll have that trouble with Anthony Elmore.
Good point.
Hefton is so confident now in where he's at in this fight. He just feels he can do anything he wants to Anthony Elmore, and he doesn't feel that Elmore can hurt him. Not that he's getting reckless, but he knows that he can protect himself from Elmore's best shot. He's really a confident fighter. And there again, classic example, Elmore can continued to go to the head even when there was no opening, instead of going to the body. Great right hand.
Keep punching. Keep going.
Elmore with Hefton on the ropes.
There he goes to the body.
There's a good right, good left.
Feet combination.
Keep going.
Right, left, right.
Hefton turns Elmore around.
All of those blows hurt. They all landed.
Let's go. Right out of there.
Elmore's not clear yet. Elmore's not clear yet.
There's some blood coming, it looks like, from the nose of Elmore. And there's a good left hand, and his left eye is starting to close on him, it appears. He's trying to focus it and can't quite seem to get it to tear up or the tears to go away. One of the two. May have been part of that combination Hefton threw at him, but the left eye is starting to swell a bit on Anthony Elmore.
Both hands are free. Let's keep it free. Let's keep it free.
Powerful left round kick, front leg round kick by Brad Hefton.
At the end of the round, the 12th round, and that one looked to belong to Brad Hefton again. And now they're looking at the left eye of Amp Elmore, and he's asking for more assistance now in the corner. And ring doctor's up to have a look.
Watch this thing down. Want to get him?
They're checking the left eye of Anthony Elmore.
Checking his nose also. Possible that his nose is broken.
Now they're telling him they're considering stopping the fight, I think.
Just like you've been doing. Same plan. Calling.
No, don't worry about it. You're still in the fight. All right. You're still in this fight. Kill this guy. Come on. Still in this fight. Don't stop. It's got to be stopped. Pardon me. Become psychic.
It's up to the ring doctor. Remember, he has the final say in the Professional Karate Commission rules. If the doctor says to stop the fight, the referee
It's over.
has to stop.
It's over. It's over. The fight was stopped, but Pat Johnson, that I think was the best thing, don't you?
Absolutely. The safety of the athlete is the #1 concern. Over the course of the 12 rounds, Hefton landed a lot of right hands to the left side of Elmore's head, and they were constantly hitting the area of the eye. The referee and the doctor saw that as a hazard. He continued to take those blows. Rather than blocking them, he was turning his head and taking those blows full powered, undeflected. The accumulative effect of that it was reason to believe it would cause serious, maybe permanent eye damage.
So the fight was stopped. Let's get the official word from our ring announcer, Larry Black.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official decision. The fight was stopped by the fight doctor and the referee at the end of the 12th round. Anthony Elmore sustained an injury to his eye. He could not see. It was unsafe to continue. The new PKC Super Heavyweight Champ of the World,